everyone, to the University of Oregon Offense Press Conference. I'd like to introduce Offensive Coordinator Scott Frost. If I could ask you to introduce your players. Coach.
Good to see you guys. We have Hroniss Grasu, our center, Josh Huff, one of our starting wide receivers, Keanon Lowe, another starting wide receiver, Byron Marshall, our starting running back, and Marcus Mariota, our quarterback.
Tell us about the bowl preparations, Coach, so far.
It's been great being down here. We kind of expect a little warmer weather, but we're used to it, so we're making do with that. We got quite a bit of bowl preparation in before we left Eugene and kind of laid the groundwork for what we wanted to do during this game when we were back home. So this week's really just kind of gearing back up after our Christmas break, kind of ironing out all the wrinkles and trying to get ready for the ball game.
With questions, raise hands and please direct it to the individual so we can get the proper quote and accreditation.
ChipBrownRivals.com. Marcus, can you just talk about where your mindset is, how healthy you are? I know probably not finishing in the top 6 in the Heisman was maybe a disappointment, if there's a little extra fire for Monday.
Right now I feel good. Since the last month, I feel probably the healthiest I've been. As for the Heisman, that's out of my control. I don't really care about that. But yeah, I feel good. I think this team is in a good spot, and we're looking forward to playing.
Questions for Josh. How much will it mean to you if you do set some records on Monday? You're real close to a lot of school records. Is that very important to you?
Not as important as the win. Records come and go, but the wins will stay forever. So as long as we get the win, I can care less about the records.
Andrew Reif, the Oregonian for Scott. How do you describe the first year as a play caller? Has it gone as smoothly as you thought? Has it progressed well? I remember at the beginning of the season, you had your thoughts about how it was going. Now that it's almost through.
Yeah, like I've said all along, it's been a lot easier for me to be the play caller and offensive coordinator with Mark ahead of me. He's got the experience, a lot of expertise. He's made the transition for me real easy. And the other thing that's made it easy is having guys like these executing the plays when I call them. You can call a lot of things when you have Marcus and Josh and Keanon and Hroniss and Byron running the plays. A lot of things work. Just like any year, I think there's been some games where we executed really well. There's been a couple games where we didn't. We played well for the most part in almost every game. There's some things that we need to improve and keep working on, and it's no different for coaches. I think there's quite a few games where our game plan was really good, some others where it wasn't as good. And we'll keep growing from here and moving forward, and the first step is this game coming up.
Keanon, we had a hashtag Alamo Bowl question. You guys went and saw the burn unit and the military at Center for Intrepid. Can you tell us about that experience?
Yeah, there was 9 of us, I think. Marcus was there, and Hroniss got the chance to go, and it was an amazing experience. I didn't really know too much about it before we got there, and it was truly inspiring. I've never been in a place that was with so much positive flow and positive energy coming out of it. You see guys that don't have arms and don't have legs, and you're just inspired. They're happy. They're grinding just like us. They went through injuries, but their injuries, it was life and death. We pull hamstrings and little stuff like that. So it really put stuff in perspective, and it was a great experience. It really touched me, and I'm sure it really touched everyone who went.
Jake Sivan, KZI. This question's for Scott. Scott, what specifically have you learned from Nick Aliotti and the way he runs his unit that you've taken and used in your role as a coordinator for your first year?
Well, Nick's been a great coach at Oregon for a long time. I think any young coach is foolish if he doesn't try to learn as much as he can from guys that have a lot of experience. There's a lot of smart guys in this business, but once you think you know everything, then you're done learning and improving. Nick's one of several guys on our staff that work hard every single day and have worked hard for a long time at the University of Oregon to make us great. I've learned a lot from all of them, and we're sorry to see Nick go. He's been a big part of our family, but we're happy for him in retirement.
Tim Griffin with the San Antonio Express News. This is for Byron and for Keanon. Obviously, you guys have had a month off since the November and some of the struggles you guys had during the month. What has the time away done for you, and maybe also for your confidence that you get back and play for Monday night after the way the season finished up?
I mean, as far as the time off, it was a chance for us to get healthy and kind of relax for maybe a couple days, right after the Oregon State game, and just get healthy and get back on track. And we had great bowl preparation in Eugene, and we've had great practices in San Antonio. So I think guys are just excited, ready to go. You have a month off, so a month off of hitting people is, in a sport like football, you're just ready to get back out there and try to compete. Yeah, as far as confidence, I mean, it was just a chance to look back and just work on the fundamentals first and foremost. In Eugene, we really stressed that, and ball security and just all fundamental stuff to the game. And as far as confidence, I think we have a confident group going into this game, and we're excited to play.
Thank you, Keanon. Byron, did you have anything to follow up on that?
Yeah, really. Just definitely got a chance to recover. It was kind of cool, I missed a couple of games, so you get a different look from a game, watching it kind of as a coach and not really as a player. Just you see a lot of different things that you don't normally see while you're playing. So definitely a different outlook from that, a different opportunity to learn. And then like Keanon said, we just been grinding ever since, just back for a bowl practice in Eugene and bowl practice out here, and just anxious, really anxious to get back out there. I mean, my confidence hasn't dropped at all in myself or in my teammates, so I'm just really excited to see what myself and this team can do come Monday.
Marcus, what makes Josh such an effective receiver? And then Scott, can you, after that, describe Josh's season?
First and foremost, Josh is an unbelievable athlete, and he gets open. Once he gets the ball in his hands, he does special things with it. So, we try our best to get him the ball as much as we can, because that guy's going to get touchdowns and first downs for us. So, he's a very exciting player, and he's done a whole lot for this offense.
Really proud of Josh. To add to what Marcus said, he's an unbelievable combination of speed and power to me that's unusual in a receiver. And it's allowed us to do a lot of things with him in the passing game, in the running game, and using him as a blocker. And you don't find guys that can do all those things very often. I'm proud of Josh this year. I think you would have seen this kind of year out of him the last 2 seasons. He had some unfortunate bad luck with some injuries that just kind of nagged at him and hampered him a little bit, both his sophomore and junior year. If he hadn't had those things happen, I think he'd have had similar numbers both those years too. But it's great to see him have this kind of year his senior year on his way out.
Thank you, Coach.
This is for Marcus. You had requested an NFL draft evaluation going forward. A lot of other players around the country have said they've received theirs back. If you have with yours, what do they say about what you think you could get better on next year?
For me, it was just, obviously ball security, accuracy, different things like that. Becoming more consistent as a passer, different things like that, all things that, we can work on in the off season. And, I'm really looking forward to this upcoming year, to get better, not only as a football player, but as a person, and, hopefully earn my degree and, just kind of grow with a lot of these guys and just enjoy it.
This is for Coach Frost and Marcus as well. Coach, long season, you've been dinged up here in the last month and a half. Can you talk about going into this game kind of at full strength now, and Marcus as well coming in at full strength?
Well, you get beat up during the course of the season, and we're no different than anybody else. I talked to the Texas coaches last night, and they talked about losing quite a few really good players to injury this year. So over the course of a football season, you're going to get hurt. The bowl preparation gives you a chance for some of the guys with minor injuries to get back healthy again. Certainly some of these guys are still a little beat up, but I think they're excited and healthy enough to go fight it out with Texas and really looking forward to the game.
Yeah, just to add on what Coach Frost was saying, this extra month to have to recover, to get healthy. Obviously everyone's going to have their nicks here and there, but, just to kind of get back to the fundamentals and just focus on recovery and, just getting better. And I think from that standpoint, we've improved and, we're really looking forward to this game.
Mike Berman, Time Warner Cable News, Austin. This is for Josh and for Marcus. What concerns you most about Texas's defense?
They're just athletic and they run to the ball and they pose a great threat when they become physical at the line of scrimmage. And secondary, they have good corners in the secondary, and but we're gonna look to do our best to take advantage of those things that we see weakness in.
Yeah, I mean, Texas has a pretty aggressive defense. They're going to come out. Obviously, they have a lot to play for. And, we just got to continue to be on our P's and Q's, understand what our assignments are. And, if everybody's on the same page, if we're all reading the same music, we should be okay.
Hi, Hroniss. Can you talk about the evolution of the offensive line a little bit? Clearly, you've had a good year and your two tackles are experienced, but there's been a little flux in the guard position. You've played some different people there. Can you sort of talk about the evolution and how those guys right next to you have been playing?
I think everybody's done a great job. I think all four other guys deserve as much credit as I've been getting. They make my job a lot easier, and with the calls and all the communication that gets along the whole offensive line, they do a great job of that. And as far as the guards, I think all of them they've been stepping up. Hamani, Mana, and Cameron, and also Everett Binyard, they've been doing a great job stepping up and providing extra size inside.
For Coach Frost and for Marcus, Texas has struggled at times this year with the quarterback that's been able to run. Is that something that you've seen and something that as a healthy Marcus might be able to run and have some success there?
Well, Marcus is healthy. He's ready to go. Texas has played great in some games. I think since Coach Robinson's been there, you haven't seen it as much of the issues that they had with a running quarterback as before. I spoke to him a little last night. He's a great guy. We don't expect there to be a lot of glaring holes in what they do, particularly when you have a little extra time to prep for a bowl game. There's not much that's going to surprise you. So we know that we just got to line up with them and try to beat them if we're going to win the game, and that's what we'll do. But we're certainly expecting Marcus to tuck it under and run a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, just to touch on what Coach Frost was saying, they've developed a great game plan for us, and we really just have to go out there and execute it. Whatever plays they call, I have all the confidence in the world, with all these guys right next to me that, we can do our best and execute what we have to.
Scott, you ran the option at Nebraska. Just compare and contrast this option attack to the one that you ran at Nebraska.
There's similarities and there's differences. The best offenses to me are complete systems, and that's the biggest similarity. When you have a complete system, then no matter what a defense is doing, there's usually an answer built into the system. There's actually quite a few plays that are similar from what I ran to this. I would have loved to play in this offense. It's fast-paced, it's exciting. This one's definitely a lot more spread, and we throw a little bit more. Marcus is about 100 times better passer than I was, so we're going to use that skill as much as we can.
Scott Kirkbowles from the Austin American. Did you study hard the Baylor and Oklahoma State films against Texas, and do you see a lot of similarities in what they do and how y'all attack teams?
Yeah, there's quite a few teams in the country that are similar in what they do. I think everybody has their own unique fingerprint. Baylor and Oklahoma State are pretty similar to what we do. Ole Miss does quite a few things that we do. What's tough as a coach is when you have the extra time like we do getting ready for a bowl game. I think we've seen every one of those games 3 or 4 times. Over the course of a regular season week, you kind of have to cram it all in, and you'll see each game once. We have all the time in the world to watch those games until we have them memorized. So we definitely saw some things in those games that we liked, and some other games too, but we're going to be our own team and do what we do for the most part.
Scott, speaking of Nebraska, do you have any special memories of playing over the Alamo Dome back when you were a quarterback?
We played a really good game there. It was the second Big 12 championship game against Texas A&M. We were kind of angry and ready to play in that one because the year before we had got upset by Texas in the first Big 12 championship game. So I haven't gotten a chance to see Texas since then, so I'm looking forward to it. I remember it was a very loud stadium at the beginning of the game. It was about 80% A&M fans, which I expect will be about the same as it'll be in a couple of days in the Alamo Dome. Our guys got to be prepared for that noise and that distraction, and we're probably going to be playing basically an away game down here. Luckily, in that game, we took the fans out of it pretty quick. So if I had a suggestion for these guys, I'd say do the same thing.
Any other questions? They had a alamobowl.com for Marcus. Do you have a favorite signal play card on the sideline to see?
There's some pretty unique ones. I think my favorite is probably the LeBron James one. We have some pretty unique plays on there, some kind of trickery ones. So, it's a lot of fun.
All right, thank you.